There's no big chunky grille, a full-size spare. Boot space is a little bit awkward, can't complain about the reverse camera. And another wheel spin, just relaxing to drive. Hey guys, this is Chery, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'll show you the Omoda E5. This is the first full electric vehicle Omoda and Jaco bring to the New Zealand. In case you don't know Omoda and Jaco, this is a company under the Chery group. In Australia, this is called the Chery Omoda in case. So overall, this is a medium to small compact size SUV. It's more like a crossover with the sloping roofline at the back. It competes with something like the MG ZS EV, the BYD Atto3 in the same segment. There are two trims available. Today we are looking at the higher trim, which is called EX in New Zealand. The base model starts at 47,990 for the BX model, where this one sits at 54,990 in New Zealand market. This is still a really good value, even if the EV market is a little bit down at the moment. So in terms of exterior dimension, this is just over 4.4 meters long, just over 1.8 meters wide, where the wheelbase sits at 2.63. So overall, it felt a little bit bigger than the MG ZS EV, not as big as the BYD Atto3 in some dimensions here and there. On the side, the profile looks really good. It's the same platform like the Omoda 5 or Omoda C5, which is a petrol vehicle. Of course, you can get different colors and two-tone colors if you wish, black rim mirror covers or around the top. 18-inch alloys are available on this particular trim. They look okay, not bad at all. You get some covers between the spokes, so just help with the aerodynamic, I suppose. At the front, full LED headlights with the daytime running on the top. Looks alright. Omoda logo, but because this is a full electric vehicle, there's no big chunky grille on the top, so just some air intake underneath, and this is where your charging port locates. What do you think about the exterior design? Let me know in the comments. Small difference from this to the Omoda 5 or Omoda C5 petrol vehicle, this actually stretches a little bit longer on the boot space. This is 50 millimeters longer on the whole dimension. That means it actually has a little bit more sort of boot volume compared to the standard Omoda C5 petrol vehicle. At the back of the car, just the Omoda logo in the center and some LED lights on the side. This particular version has got a sequential turning light. They look great. Just like that. Next one is the power tailgate. One touch, that goes all the way. Again, that's only available on the higher spec. The base model is just manual tailgates. Underneath, surprisingly, we have a full-size spare. Where do you find full-size spare on the full electric vehicle? Quite frankly, at this price point, this is probably the only one. The total volume of the boot is 380 liters, so not massive, but it looks quite square, it looks quite long. The only thing is, because of the sloping roofline, you can't stack everything up on the top, but it still looks very useful at the back. Now the second row seats goes 40 and 60 split. That means we can drop them very easily. Now creates a 1075 liters boot volume total combined. So again, useful but not huge compared to some medium SUVs on the market. Next is the front compartment. Let's see if it does have a Frunk at all. There we go, it does. It's not that big, but it is very useful to store your cables, things like that. That's something the BYD or the MG does not have at all. Cool thing. Next, let's open the charging port to look at how the charging looks like. It's not the best looking one, but it is very useful. When you go to a charging station, you just need to roll forward and you can find the charging port. In this version, we get Type 2 on the top, CCS, fast charge underneath. In terms of charging speed, the Type 2 supports up to 9 point something kilowatts on 3-phase charging, or around 7 kilowatts on the single phase, where for the DC CCS, it supports up to around 88 kilowatts in terms of fast charging speed. Closing the cover, pretty simple, just like that. Alright, next let's go to the rear seats. First thing, the opening of the rear doors are okay. It's not 90 degree, but it's really close to 90 degree. The seat itself is quite soft, nice leather finish. They are of course synthetic leather. Step inside, The front seat has been set to my sitting position at about 178 centimeters tall. I've got okay amount of leg room. My foot space is a little bit awkward. There's a little bit small hump over there, as you can see. So yeah, you have to sort of tug your foot just literally under the seat and on top of that small level. Not the best. In terms of functionalities, pockets over here for your storage, air vents, just a single one. Heated seats are also available on this vehicle. They are also adjusted, so really good. USB-A and USB-C for your charging. Center console is nice and soft. Cup holders, no issue at all. In terms of headroom, they are okay for me, but for someone who is going to be 6 foot or taller, you are going to struggle with the headroom. And also this side, this particular panel is quite low, again, because of the sloping crossover roofline. It's going to be a little bit awkward to step in and step outside. Let's look at the door. Feels reasonably solid. Not bad at all. I love the material. They got some contrast over here, white stitching around, some white stitching on the top. Everything you touch is really soft. Some plastic underneath, which is understandable, but this panel looks really nice and feels really nice. In addition to that, this car also have a 8-speaker Sony sound system, plus ambient lighting that goes around the doors. Everything feels solid on this vehicle, and this is how the front looks like. Now let's get inside the front seats. Again, full leather seats on this particular spec, a small sunroof on this particular spec as well, some white lines and electric adjustments also available. Let's step inside. Alright, to start the vehicle, it's pretty simple. There's no start button. Foot on the brake with the key inside the vehicle. It's on. The vehicle is ready to drive. First thing, leather wrapped steering, just like what you can find on the Omoda C5. They are very nice. I actually really love the steering shape, flat bottom but round around other edges. It's really good in terms of the size. It's perfect for this car. In the center, we can find the Omoda logo. On both sides, we can find some cruise control buttons or the function buttons on the right. They don't have any haptic feedback. They're just physical buttons, but finishing pianos. So it's going to get a lot of fingerprints on it. But function-wise, it's pretty okay to use. It's definitely better than the Volkswagen sort of touch-sensitive buttons. It's better than that. Behind the steering, we got the column shifter. So press down to drive. On the side for park. On the top, that's reverse. And this is how the 360 looks like. They are really good. On the left, that's your indicator and your windscreen wipers. Everything is all here, so quite different from other Omoda or even J-Cool vehicles. And if you look on the right, we got some light controls, fog lights, everything for the boot release and for the charging port release. And then you get some panels over here to change your brightness and change your volume quickly. So some direct buttons, okay. In front of us, that's a 12.3-inch display for the dashboard and another 12.3-inch display for the center unit. The dashboard is fairly simple. You can only change whatever is on the right, but in the center, these are just permanent display for your speed and things like that. There is no heads-up display on the Omoda E5, but the speed is totally fine for most people. And if you go into the center, this is very similar to the J-Cool's sort of screen system. Click here, you can see all the apps or functions you can use for Android Auto, phone connection and everything. Vehicle settings is all under here. And then you get also some local settings for the screen, for the voice, for the sound. Then if you go to the new energy, you can set up your energy settings or discharge and charging settings overall. This vehicle does come with the vehicle to load function, by the way. Overall, okay to use, not as easy as the J-Cool screen. I do not think some of the settings are located in the most intuitive way. For example, if you want to change your regenerative braking, you have to find it under new energy and other settings to change your energy recovery. Where if you do want to change some of the settings for the display, it's all under settings, which is okay. But vehicle settings, there are quite a few of them. Yeah, when you drive the vehicle, it's maybe a little bit tricky to find most of the things. And once again, that's how the reverse camera looks like. Quality-wise, really good. At this price point, you can't complain about the reverse camera. It's very clear. It's even better than some of the competitors or some of the other vehicles on the market. So really good on that for the 360. In terms of connection, Bluetooth is available, wired, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is also available. The wiring goes to the passenger side as3. Speaking of the phone's connection, you get wireless phone charging with active cooling. These are 50 watts, so it's going to be really fast to charge some of the devices. 2 cup holders over here, some direct buttons for your AC, for your drive mode, and for your on and off for the screen. Press this, small storage over here, or another cup holder if you want to use that. Press here, deep storage with active cooling through your aircon. And then on the side, you can find a decent glove box. Another storage is also under the center console. I love this tunnel, it's huge actually. You can find a 112 socket underneath and USB-A and USB-C on the other side. In terms of design and finishes, everything around the doors are just like as good as the rear doors. Nice stitchings, nice soft leather material on all through the cabins. Some piano trims and some wooden-like trims on the top. And these pads actually lit up at night with the ambient lighting, so really cool. Some soft material on the top again, and the dashboard feels solid. So yeah, everything is really well designed in terms of finishes. I do wish there's less piano black trims over here, because you're gonna get fingerprints all over the screen and also some piano black trims. But overall, it's a really good cabin to be in. Feels really premium overall actually, at least for the price point. Alright, let's get in on the road to see how it goes. First thing, the visibility. Around the vehicle are okay at the front, they are okay as well. Wind mirrors are okay in terms of size. Only thing is the rear windscreen. It's actually not a small windscreen, but due to the sloping roofline, it feels a little bit slim overall. So not the best in terms of visibility at the back, but it's okay. On the side, they are pretty good, but at the back, there's no rear quarter window over there. So at your blind spot, you're gonna need to, double check, but you do have blind spot system if you need. So yeah, let's get in on the road. First thing, you hear that indicator sound. Again, if you do not like it, you can actually change to 3 different themes or 3 different sort of sound tones, which is actually quite handy. This is my personal favorite, but you can change yours, of course. So let's quickly go through some numbers on the power and drivetrain. I'll talk about the battery later. It's come with a single front motor driving, so front wheel drive, single motor, 150 kilowatts and 340 Newton meters of torque. And the 0 to 100k's timer is about 7.6 seconds. We won't be able to test that today, but let's see if we can get it on the road to see how this goes. Again, sport mode as per normal, and there's no launch control or anything like that. There's no one behind me. Let's see if we can do a stop. 1, 2, 3. It's okay. Yeah, it's actually quite smooth. The pedal response is okay. The pedal response doesn't feel as fast as, let's say, the MG4 or the MG ZS-EV. I think the tuning of that just want to concentrate on the sort of comfort level, so it's not thrilling. In another way, this is not the fastest electric vehicle you can find on the market, but it is still fairly responsive compared to, let's say, another one is BYD Atto3, as the BYD's approach is really gentle acceleration. This one is somehow in between the BYD and the MG, let's put it that way. Go back to the normal mode, just so we can see how it looks like. There are different regenerative brakings, there are 3 levels of them. We are doing level 1 right now. As a default, go to the level 1, which is quite interesting. And even under level 3, it is not one pedal driving, so overall you are not going to get the one pedal driving experience on this vehicle. Level 3 is quite aggressive, just like what you can find on the MG ZS-EV, and a little bit stronger than the BYD's regenerative braking. Overall, you will be fine with level 3 if you really like the heavy regenerative braking. Other things, battery, so this one come with only 1 battery pack you can choose, whether it's the lower spec or the higher spec. 61 kilowatts hour LFP battery with a WLTP range of 430 kilometers driving range. Depends on your drive, obviously. I would say you can easily get around 350 to 380 in a nice daily drive. In summer could be more, in winter could be less, somewhere around that. And on the motorway, very relaxing to drive. Suspension wise, it's okay. It's a fairly soft suspension, it's not sporty, but it's not harsh at all. The noise level is low. You are going to get some sort of a wind noise around here and there, but that's pretty much all. You're not going to be disappointed with this, how this drivetrain is. And while we are on motorway under normal mode, the pedal response is still fairly good like that. It's pretty easy to take off. If you have never driven any EV before, you'll find this one really fast actually on the pedal response. But if you have driven something like a super sport all-wheel drive EV, this is just average EV performance. So overall on the motorway, really pleasant to travel. There's no weird points or there's no weird things I need to complain about the driving part of this car. Everything works as it should. Do remember this vehicle comes with a facial monitoring system, comes with all the safety technologies, blind spot, adaptive cruise control, lane departure. So far has not given me any warnings yet, which is actually pretty good. That's how confident you are on the road. You can see basically with its safety features. Alright, we're going back to the sport mode again, just to see how that goes. On this corner, again, there's no one behind me. I'm gonna slow down to about 20 before we go. 1, 2, 3. Little bit wheel spin this time, and another wheel spin with the little bit traction control off. But yeah, pretty sweet. I would say it should be easily under 8 seconds for this sort of acceleration. I mean, for most people, you do not do this acceleration at all in daily runs. That's totally fine for the travel and for the power you will get on this sort of vehicle. And it's very windy today. You're going to hear a little bit wind noise. You can see the bounce in here and there. Speaking of the shake or bounce, on the motorway, it's really solid. At low speed, the steering is quite responsive. It's quite light. But on the motorway, when you go on sports mode, the steering feels quite stiff and solid, basically. Now I have changed the vehicle regenerative braking to level 3. Let's see how heavy it is when slowing down from 50, letting go. That's alright, just like what you expect on the heavy regeneration. Of course, it's not going to slow down to all the way 0. It will sort of slow down all the way to about 10 kilometers per hour on the speed. And even on this rough seal, the suspension works fine. It's not sporty in any way, but it is quite supportive overall. And these turning around the corners are fine. The first few turns or at very light angles, the steering doesn't feel like, you can see here, it doesn't feel like super supportive. But once you turn enough around the corners, it will be fine. So again, the steering doesn't feel the most sporty in any means. It's going to be like a family car, like a daily travel car in terms of the suspension. The seats are good. I think ergonomic wise, they are okay. I wouldn't complain about the seats at all. Only thing is, when you do the regenerative braking, sometimes it could behave a little bit funny. Like you can see I'm just trying to do a gentle acceleration, but the vehicle is just like, yeah, the nose is dipping like for some reason. So if you have passenger on the side, I do recommend to use this vehicle on maybe level 1 or level 2. The level 3 feel quite strong on the initial brake. It's not as comfortable as I wish in some way. Let's go back to the regeneration low, as I do not like this high level of regeneration on this vehicle specifically. And another small annoying thing, if you want to change those things, it's all in the center screen. That's for your regenerative braking. Another small annoying thing, if you do want to change your auto rain sensing wipers sensitivity, you have to go to that screen to go into the vehicle setting to change that. That's also a little bit annoying, isn't it? So yeah, that's the thing with no physical controls, and many physical controls are lacking on this vehicle. But it's also a new trend on many cars, although everyone complains about it. But to be fair, you will get used to it eventually. Going back to normal mode just to see how it goes. And traveling wise, it's really comfy, like it's really cruisy, it's really just relaxing to drive. It's going to be as close as to a petrol vehicle in terms of driving experience, but better in many ways because it's just so quiet. Alright, we're now back in the sort of lower speed zone just to see how this car drives and feels on the lower speed zone. And just like what you expect, even lightly pressing the accelerator, this feels really smooth, and the acceleration is totally fine for daily drive. It's overall just really pleasant to drive and relaxing. Yeah, when you pass those small bumps, you can feel it's passing it, but it's not bumpy at all. Handling, it's okay. You can see there are small dead points, like on the first travel, it doesn't really respond to the wheel. But overall, it's pretty confident. There's not much of a big body roll at all. It's alright. There are things going around in the cabin, but I'm fine on the seats. It's not too bad at all. Yeah, it is okay. It's not sporty. The steering doesn't handle sporty, but very easy to react, very easy to control. And there's no weird spot on the steering handling or steering feels. That would be the end of this video. What are my thoughts on this car? I think it's still a really good value car for its spec. The driving part is nothing like say crazy, but it does everything okay on the great value choice. If this car came out in 2021 in New Zealand, when the rebate is there, when the RUC was not introduced at the time, these would sell thousands over the years. But sadly, this is 2024 and the EV market is very slow. But if you're looking for a brand new EV on the market right now, this is still a really good option. I think you should look at this option regardless if you want the hatchback or SUV on the market. No doubt some cars on some other fields will do better than this car, but overall this is really good value. And that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you do not forget to subscribe and like. That's the best way to support the channel. As always, I will see you next video. Thank you very much.